Alright, we're at the 22nd February, the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. Seems to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line! Good morning! Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago I was declared not guilty here. Yeah, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder. Here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court. I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo! I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh! See, we added some costumes to these characters. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. Here we are again. Yes, again. Judicial Assistant Miss Mikitoba Esquires, what's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, didn't you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta do some chores, Mikey Noodle says. Have a great stream. Thank you very much. Alright, let's keep going. What is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barak von Zykes. Von Zykes? Oh no, oh no, no, no! The so-called Reaper of the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land? In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. However, by the skin of our teeth, we managed to pull through, but still. Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter after all. I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Von Zykes is the prosecutor. Oh no. That even if that person is found not guilty, the case will meet a mysterious end one way or another. We experienced it firsthand. Man, we successfully met the most terrifying end out of his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Yep. Do I have to put up with those cold ice boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper. Pair of petrifying perils, potentially. Well, if it's potentially, at least you may appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. I don't know. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I'm innocent, you have to believe me. You're more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle, I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go. Yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid you won't be able to make it, Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help, and that could be seen as weakness. If Lord Van Zykes were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruto. Wait, when I look that way, hold on. Mr. Naruto. I'm moving things around. You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, locum student Mr. Hono Esquire. Well said. I swear on the sword at my side, on the spirit of Kazuma. Oh, sorry, that's me. I swear on the sword at my side, on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free with honor. Oh, yes. New Peach voice or something. Oh, yes. That's not her, though. 22nd February, 9:40. At the Old Bailey courtroom. Those are our jury. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I'll call upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. I need to turn on the thingamabob. The prosecution is ready. Is there? I don't know. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for trial, my learned Japanese friend, is not what the defense needs. Creepy. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. It's not just my imagination, is it really there? Lord Van Zykes has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now, he's back in the courtroom for some reason. Only when I'm defending. This Reaper, and his curious disdain for us Japanese, is prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Sheesh. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. I might turn on the lights. Boop, boop, boop. More lights. All the lights. Furthermore, now I call upon... Furthermore, I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You've been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Absolutely. I don't know. I don't know what his voice is. Absolutely. I have a feeling this Larrikin wasn't innocent before. I must say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Well, I'd rather not like how you're wearing your hat. I think the realists look quite fetching. Very fetching, actually. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight. The missus will go through the roof. May the Lord show us all light here, lead his flock to the righteous verdict. The British jury system is so different from our own, isn't it? Quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is the hand of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass a sentence when all jurors are in agreement with the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random. At least that's the idea. Excuse me. Prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused is on trial here, but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Sykes, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's not the intent of the prosecution to cast any doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Benes before had dire consequences. Did the accused repent of his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he uses freedom to perpetrate the most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the trial, the prosecution calls his first witness to the stand. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, the accused himself. Or something. I don't know. Crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Inspector of Scotland Yard, Homicide Division. This is Saki Natsume of the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite... I don't even remember the judge's voice anymore. I'm quite sure you're not mistaken. You swore on your oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember as if it was yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place we want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. I don't know his name. Right you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Gardab household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, the detective has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as the result of poisoning by strychnine. He was found in the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means I presume that the door of the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident? Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry or the exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale, he very nearly did it. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here I took at the time to show how it looked. Bing. Yes, chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as an evidence for the court. This crime scene, blah blah blah. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes? Yes? As the defendant, this is like Law and Order Criminal Intent mixed with Criminal Minds mixed with anime. Something like that, Wasabi Cheetah. As the defendant, do you have any say at this juncture? They're haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what haunted? My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances, and the woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me, what about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed Mr. Natsume? How? Even on the fateful night it happened when I returned from Mr. Stramspear's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out. And somebody tried to kill me! You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold. My runny nose would freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you. Thank you, witnesses. Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. Yeah, I don't even remember. I can't switch from Soseki to the judge. It's so confusing. If I could raise one more point, my lord, something. Conclusive? Go on. Unfortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, has regained consciousness after his ordeal. And he is named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea, as he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. Good grief. Order. Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why does the victim accuse him? Very well, Mr. Natsume. What have you say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me, and I visited Mr. Shamspear's room as a gift, but the public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water, especially to make it. This is the result. Never will I touch tea again, ever. The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we heard before. That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, defense must have opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon the witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection. None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Good. You give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. I don't even know how his voice is again. Yes, my lord. Alright, time to be Gregson. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and took some tea with me as a gift. It heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room around 11. Ugh! My tea is completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't kneel over immediately after taking it. The victim could have been perfectly fine. To be able to lock the door after his guests left, the argument still stands. Ugh, I don't know what that British accent was. It all seems pretty straightforward. Excuse me, but that testament does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. I haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect substance. How could you overlook something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. What? The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. I don't know. Unable? Why? It's simple enough. There's none left, not to drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist. Funnily enough. But the lack of evidence notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. Huh? I see, thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You see it in their faces, I'm sure, the recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors look daggers at me. Shh. I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. All right. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Ba ba ba. I need to. All right, I'm not gonna read these because we just read it before. Okay. We're gonna adjust the brightness just a little bit. Just cause I turned up the light. Alright. Oh, I changed my face. Whoops, I didn't change my face, never mind. Alright. Back to the game. Let's press everything. Were you and your neighbor good friends then? Oh no, we weren't friends, not at all, not at all. Never, ever. Something now would have sufficed. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shakespeare fancies himself and a great literary knowledge, and as a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Come now, no Ebenezer would understand the finer points of English literature. And on the night in question, what was the topic of the conversation as well, I presume? It was the day of the last trial when I was acquitted. I just arrived back at my lodgings when I ran into Mr. Shamsbury outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged one or two pleasantries, but as soon as it turned into a heated discussion. He's on his way out at that time, though. I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate, but did I have ill intentions? No, not one, not two, not any, not at all. Never, ever. A simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Then tell the court what did happen when you visited the victim's room. Alright. Literary debate. A literary debate about Shakespeare's work, I think you said, didn't you? Shakespeare, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet. Who's stronger? It was profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger? I know I'm gonna regret asking, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed we could reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out, in Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Mr. Shamsbury had all sorts of costumes in his room for such a contest. So when you say reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? He was Romeo and I was Juliet, and after a vigorous, wild tussle, I, as Juliet, came out on top. A victory I will cherish forever! That worked? I don't even know. I don't think it worked. What happened to Nightbot? Maybe Nightbot's down. Alright. Just... Boop, boop, boop. I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains, it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I heard that he was too bored out of the tea himself to see. It's true, there's no sign of tea leaves in the man's room. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So wasn't everyone looking at me with suspicion? My tea was harmless. Of course it was. Do you have any, do you have any basis for that statement, witness? Witness? Alright. Let's press this one. Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone who could think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before, he must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all he could have needed to analyze it for poison. You say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume? Yes, definitely. By heaven and earth, I swear it. The landlord was able to verify that as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. And how... and And how is the landlord? How is the landlord able to attest to this? He said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector? When the tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Garrett seems to pay a lot of attention to the lamps. There's only one key to this Mr. Shamspeare's room. I know that for certain. He must have locked the door himself from the inside his room. The victim confirmed that to be the case, yes. I'm so right. My tea was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? Alright, let's press about strychnine. How long does it take for victims' symptoms to appear, then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes at the poisons consumed. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison gets ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seem to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poison again? That's always so awful. "30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked himself behind the door accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades the Seki-san's alibi. I have medical report for the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells out really, the accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well. I will add this report to the courtroom record as evidence. Oh yes, I see here. Delayed onset of symptoms. Great. Alright, let's press the last part. The argument still stands, you say? This is what Natsume have been saying, isn't it? The pair of them drank together that night, so if there was poison in it, the victim could have been able to lock the door. Yeah, I don't even know what that was. Exactly. Oh, me, my tea are innocent, sweet and innocent, I tell you. I'm afraid, sir, that... I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strychnine is slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. So you could say you could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. I can't do Gregson's voice anymore. I lost the voice. I could hear the voice and I still can't say it. As long as you did that, Mr. Shamster could have locked the door after you'd gone. But no! We drank the tea right away. The battle over whether Romeo and Juliet was stronger. That came after the tea. Well, that means he found out the other person probably fainted from the poison. Do you have any evidence to support that statement? In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have the saying, drink tea while it's hot. Sure, Harvard will satisfy the prosecution. afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there's sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in this matter. No. No. Okay. I don't know. That's their testimony. If I could voice an opinion, Mr. Naruto. Of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence so adamantly, so persistently, but hey, Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. We need to find inconsistency in the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. To see it, we'll need to focus the poison and the tea. I see. Oh, my face froze or something. Fun times. Let's try deactivating the face cam. Can deactivate the face cam. Oh, that's why. Okay, we're gonna try to disconnect the face cam because a bug. How did we break the thing? Oh, there we go. Super bright face, super bright face. Whoop whoop. Okay, that might help. Alright. Okay. Hot drink, 11, harmless. Chicken ticks doesn't immediately take over it. Victim would be perfectly able. Present. Okay, first, let's look at all the evidence, right? Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, eh? Someone with an unrefined temperament. Okay. Right-handed. Okay. Cup that they were drinking. Tea does that. Even green tea. Really? Never even noticed before. Never noticed? Well, never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I guess I gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way. Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. Most of them are Japanese. Okay. Well, that's the other one. Mr. Natsume drank. Unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. Drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I always gulp it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruto. If you sip it little by little, it goes cold. I'll have to instruct you the proper way of taking tea. To take tea. Okay, so Shamspear drank it slowly, sip by sip. Bar soap. Look at the soap. Oh, what's this? Bar soap. Yep. Round disc. A reddish one. You're right. Reddish thing. Where is the disc gone? Okay, there's a red medallion that vanished. Crime scene. Maybe it has money in it? Small quantity of strychnine. Or strychnine. 30 minutes after ingestion. Mixed with tea. No sample can be obtained. Occurred around 1:30 a.m. No container for the poison was found at the scene. Okay. Nearby street. We have there. That. Receipt. 2 shillings. Bill for Gabbro Canterbury earrings. Picture wants your liquor. Fuck. Very interesting. That's the extent of the testimony. Okay. 9 o'clock. Went back to the room around 11. 11? That's like more than an hour. Okay, let's keep reading this again. Uh-huh. Romeo and Juliet. Stuart Stronger. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Boiled water came hurt. Yeah. Uh-huh. She is completely harmless. He kind of locked behind me. How could he? Press. He was saying, there's not a drop left yet. 11? Yeah. 11, yeah. Because present. $30, right?
Objection.
Nope. Wrong. We're gonna get stuck again. Alright, let's see. No. Wrong. Okay, what was the hint that we got by the end of the conversation? Okay. Uh-huh. What we need to focus is poison and the tea. Yeah. Sam's spear, it's stained. Right. So if you let it go cold.
Objection.
Nope. No, I don't know. Harmless. Strychnine, Neil.
Objection.
No, I already did that one. No. We're gonna get a guilty verdict. Game over before we finish this.
Objection.
Okay, the argument still stands. You say? I think not, Inspector. Come again? I think you'll find that you've overlooked a very significant chronological inconsistency here. Chronicle what? What are you talking about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsumi, left the victim's room at 11. Yeah, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. Ugh. In other words, if there's poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it? 2.5 full hours after the defendant left. Ugh. The defendant's argument is completely entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zykes? He's gonna break the glass. Pray forgive me, the discourtesy of my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it happen, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nippity's friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. Phantom? It is so hard to imagine the victim drank his tea after the accusers left. For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30. Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor, and in Japan there's a well-known saying. Drink tea while it's hot.
Objection.
And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. There's nothing more refreshing than a cold tea. The point is, if there's such a long gap, there might be other ways of explaining how the victim became poisoned. Other possibilities. What sort of possibilities, Counsel? Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Possibly. Another visitor? That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend. From someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Oh, I guess we're gonna have to do that. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. You suggest that may be suicide, Counsel?
Objection.
I don't know. Mr. Shamspeare has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted. But he could be lying. Is something wrong, Lord Van Zykes? I was listening to the sound of carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? Maybe it's our new witness? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Hold it. I don't know. Who said that? At brief candle, life's but a walking shadow. It's the crazy Shamspeare guy. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Oh, it is a tale by an idiot full of sound and fear signifying nothing. Man, I'm a bit tired. I think I need some stretches. You sure this is a creepy face? Who, sir, are you? William Shamspeare, my lord. As 'twas I, undone by these bitter events, I am the victim. What is he doing here? Uh-oh. Stretchable. Stretch. Yeah. I might grab my blanket. Ugh. Alright, let's keep going. Whoops, I bumped everything. Alright. The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. Alright, let's do it. With this testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. Yeah. Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell. My own tale of woes. Whoa. I can regale the court with my tale of perfect innocence in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim. Victim. I don't know. He definitely gives me a creepy vibe. Mr. Two Guys. Alright, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. Who's that other man beside him? Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before. State your names and occupations to the court, please, witnesses. A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they I don't even know what. Compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare, was a great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shakespeare. My name's Meterman. Adron B. Meterman. Yeah, I work for the Altamont Gas Company East End branch office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road. Oh yes, she's right, it's him. What's this? He's being creepy. What's that man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? Excuse me, could we have a word? We spotted him outside Mr. Gyardup's house that morning. He's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct? Oh heaven, oh hell, do you commend me to remember that sweet poison that is across me and crossed mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any doubt for room, or jurors' minds, I believe. Behold, I have only to rearrange the letters of my name to seem that's me, a seraph, an angel, indeed. Ah, interesting. Thus I must thus be I, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and fairly honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. There's a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man. I'm afraid. They're actually taking the serif anagram idea seriously? One of the guys is just deaf or something. Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions. Oh my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shamspear doing here? The gas man, I mean. What, me? Oh, now... Allow me to enlighten, my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your early impertinence? We suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question, and moreover that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroke here is to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Conclusively. Super deep voice. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman? Hang on. No, I'm just here. I hereby call your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what had happened on that night in question. One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it thought to pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent. Very interesting. Alright. The snow lay about. My neighbor did something, but miry bitter was his drink. When he left, I fell prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that 8 hour, naught else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Eastern fella. Why is he stalking him? So weird. Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspear's room all night? Yeah, that's right, of course. The bloke's window's all but blocked up, isn't it? There's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. So I spent all the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered through that. The question is, sir, why? Well, now, that's because he's on my list. What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? Man, I'm getting tired. I might want to call it earlier. What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed. Take no more ado about his tedious words. What do you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question, nothing more. Indeed. That is so. And as the testimony we have heard it clearly reveals, there's no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. What? Whisper. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed in the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay. The snow lay about. I was just, yeah. Keep reading. Prostrate on table. Tea alone. Bloke's window. And no one else visit his room. But short little round back. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna press all this stuff first. Press, 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 press. To be clear, by neighbor, you're referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume? Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs? At what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo behold, did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea? Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes? And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. By which I presume he means their discussion about who is stronger, Romeo and Juliet? I, Shakespeare, did play the part of young Romeo, and whilst he did Juliet. Each of us stressed as our characters be to bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Felty, thy name is woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of jujitsu, but dear, did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up. This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you would reiterate your statement about the tea and the cues brought to your room? My liege, I'm thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding. Alright, we'll press part 2. Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until 2 after the poison did the thing. It amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. If the defendant had really put poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're gonna have to explain. Gladly. Just an easy task. What? I did drink the tea. Not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith was stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily my lips were parched. That doesn't sound normal. Nay, it's quite ordinary, sire, after all. Thou wouldst recall our fiery debate, and amidst such argument there be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again? Who is stronger? Mr. Shakespeare, in summary, allow me to confirm, did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stupid lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this immortal coil. We all know what that means. Alright, let's press number 3. So you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? Ha! Fee on luxury, fee on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full no more often the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day I do fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence, it is that where doth not my chamber be then the costumes of my art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starving to death in your room. that I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. Oh, I have devoured them all. You've eaten them? Every word be within my skull. Does thou imagine otherwise? So, I think he's just using an allegory or whatever, a simile. Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now you could turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way poison could have passed through the victim's lips is in the tea. I was outside the bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else, something. Well, that's the entire testimony. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I can't see any obvious holes at all, to be honest. No, oh dear. Nobody else visited Mr. Shamspeare's room that night, apart from Mr. Natsume. I imagine the members of the trial will all conclude the same thing. Right, that he's guilty. Well, all we can do is press the witnesses for more information and hope for a breakthrough. Yes! Alright, we have 2 more to go. The number 4. Press. But the windows of the house have all been filled in. A historical artifact of now defunct window tax. Yeah, you're right. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I looked through that gap. There were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights, but then it's my orders. That's what I keep doing. As long as there's breath in my body. What's with the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accuser left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And we could therefore discount the possibility of suicide. Why? Can you be sure of that? The police carried out thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. Since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison container himself, it's clear this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Yes. Lucidly explained, counsel. Thank you. It really was. You can't argue with that logic. And the last statement. No one else visited this room but that short little round black Eastern fella. You say a short little round black Eastern fella. You can't be sure it was the defendant then.
Objection.
How many other short little round black backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap. It's quite dark. I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up around 9, so I'm pretty sure myself. Then the person you saw arrive, did he and Shamspeare drink tea together? Nah, sorry, I couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see the room all that well. But what I did see was a silhouette of that little round-backed fellow wearing a pretty dress. And the pair of them started some wrestling match. I'll tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. I suppose that was Romeo and Juliet's championship battle getting underway. Mr. Meneman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question, Gaspin's honor. I doubt it. Hold on. If he didn't see the room well enough, then people could hide in the room, right? Oh. My lord. Goodness me, Mr. Foreman. I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gotten long enough. Are y'all with me? Yes. Are we to understand you, ladies and gentlemen, the jury are in agreement with one another? And you've reached an unanimous decision? Too right, we have that. I don't know how to do it. Yes. Wait, no, the defense is in the middle of cross-examination. To be honest, was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man, especially after you identified those few hours following the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, the victim, the three. I can't. My voice is just like. Yes, three missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see. And since that's now apparent, there's no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight. The missus will blow her top. Hey, what was that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well. Let the court appraise your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Uh-oh.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Yikes. Don't worry, this is part of the script. All of you? Well, it would appear the jury is indeed unanimous. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. What? Alright, let's stop it right there. Get up, Mr. Naruto, please. The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Remember jury nullification or whatever? Whoever, something? Jury something about? What about the information I found in this British encyclopedia? The British law I have. The obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? A summation examination. Alright, let's do it. That's right. I don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in British courts of law, we can reverse the decisions of the majority of the jurors. You can force the trial to continue. Alright. The trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely... Yeah. Barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly none other defense counsel in recent times will exercise the right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury mind is set, it can't be altered. Yeah, we've proven that wrong. Nevertheless, that right remains and must be upheld. let's summation examinate all of them. Thank you. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all this about this young lad's tenacity, and we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of the crime over which he stands accused. Let's do it. Judicial findings. The victim will not be well off, but he's a nobleman, and straight up, there's no reason to doubt the man. That's a fairly flawed reason.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
I don't know. That's a poor reason, too. Just look at all the accused by comparison. He's Japanese and stoops all the while and has a mustache. Very fishy. That's a poor reason, too. There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman for now, at least. That's a bad reason. I don't really care, I need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. How am I even supposed to handle it? I knew it. Every single one of these seems completely convinced. It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. If you ask me, they've been all bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. Sadly, there's nothing Mr. Natsumi has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here it goes. I believe the jury on Suzuki's on behalf, so you never know. Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how summation examination works, Mr. Naruto. Well, you're still very new to British law after all. That's true, I suppose, and Suzuki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. I wonder, should I let her talk you through it again or not bother? Yeah. We're not refreshing because this is the second part of the game. Thanks for the kind offer, Miss Sato, but I've been through plenty of these now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary. Of course, I understand. I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you. Okay, sounds good to me. The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Might do that are contradictory, pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Alright, let's do it. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. Victim well off, noble, straight up, no reason to doubt the man. Declared good gentleman, no reason to lie, in fact splendid. Just look at the cues. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, has a mustache, very fishy. So evidence to suggest the gangling actor's a fraudsman, for now at least. Don't really care. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. I think I'm gonna pit like this 3 hours of this one, I guess. Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another. I guess not. I tried. I concur with the foreman. I warn you. Okay, whatever. We might get guilty for this. These are all not even... I don't even see any inconsistencies. He's not well off. Pit against... Noble man.
Objection.
These two statements are at odds. I guess not. I don't know. I don't really know what it's asking me to do at all. I guess we're getting guilty. And a restart. Sheesh. They aren't even good reasons. Yeah.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Disappointing.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
It was a trap all along. I don't believe he's guilty. I just failed them as a lawyer, and I should be fired. Alright, let's give it another go. Retry from this scene, yeah. Okay. I just don't know. Victim well off, but noble man, no reason to doubt. Good gentleman, look accused. No evidence is justifying for now at least. Look at the accused by comparison. Splendid. Wait, I can press them. I forgot. Okay, let's press them. Press. Why do you think they... Yeah. Many people who seem noble but poor. Could some of them also be liars? No doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that I was Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account, well, the truth is, couldn't be clear. Well, that's alarmingly logical. But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. It turns out the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all. I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same, isn't that right? Well, yeah, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening. What's that? elderly gent on the end here, you know. You gotta speak up. Look, I don't really care about all this nonsense. I need this trial to be over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury then? Alright, sir. I'm gonna hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Show me that person's a liar and I'll reconsider. Okay, press this. Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he's rather splendid. You say yet again. Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously, it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not so splendid at all. Splendid logic there, madam. Thanks so much. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese and stoops all the while and has a mustache. Very fishy. No, not one of those things is a reason to find a man's guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact he's Japanese. He has a mustache and he stoops. You see, you arrived at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh. There's another 3 steps. This really does seem like a waltz, doesn't it? Like he just repeated one of the steps. Right, and the prosecution will waltz his way to victory if I let you speak more. Okay. Fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam? Really is the most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. I'm sorry, you lost me a little bit there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, the owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Good gracious. Altamont Gas, you say? Gas is the future energy of in this country around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure an employee from the East End branch office would be first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world. Of course, Altamont. I think we've solved the mystery of the vow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So, would it be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meaderman was watching that Mr. Shamsby was up in his room? I am afraid there's no end to the lengths of population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. So, really no choice when the company identifies someone as possible fraudsman, but to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shamsby is... I wouldn't come out and say it in public. But you can finish the sentence with a garbage little gas thief. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of man. The eye of a man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin. But the seraphs hear not insults, but only choir of angels in song. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you till they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights at Altamont Gas Explosion. So Mr. Shaftesbury's been stealing gas? I wonder. Juror number 4, wouldn't you mind adding that information to your statement? My pleasure. It was the little bit ripping that thief apart you enjoyed. A little before that part, about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble. Yes, of course. This could be it. This could shift the balance. I don't care, like, I need this trial to end quickly. You keep talking about needing to take home some money. What's that all about, sir? Finish last, that's what it's about. What's that? Talking about the derby at Hyde Park, aren't I? It was the Queen's Cup last week, wasn't it? A derby? It was dead cert. That's the thing, I couldn't lose. I took my wife's secret savings, but then that hopeless old mare went and did unthinkable. That stupid finish last. Oh dear, I think it's clear what happened, isn't it? Yikes, this is the day the missus uses her savings for a trip down the pub. Oh, come on, let this business lie now, just give it up. No, that's not gonna happen. 3 hours of missing time is nothing much when you reach my age, nothing at all. Alright, let's press it. What do you really mean by that, sir? Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning. I do. At 5? You're a really early riser, aren't you? What's that now? I said you're a really early riser. Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to take a while. I like to while away the hours in the evening to read books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I usually too tired to go on. He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours sleep each night. What's that, my dear? Only 3 hours of sleep each night. That's right, you see. 3 hours of missing time. Like I said, it's not much, is it? This really isn't helping. I really don't know what a Kentucky accent is like. I'm sorry. I'd have to listen to one. What does a Kentucky accent look like? Here's one. After the advertisement.
Tag or the accent challenge, whatever you want to call it. Someone asked me to do number 2, what is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? I haven't seen those bugs in forever, but when I was little and I saw them, this time it's tennis shoes. Knuckle-shaped body and extremely long legs. I always done that when I was little and I never sang, but yes, I'm going to get these so I can read a little better. Okay, the words are ant, roof, root, wash. Oh, it's the accent tag. You guys
Nope.
can...
She talks too much and I can't find the content. Mail.
They're from Kentucky, like Sue, right? And just telling us stories.
My family farm here. We've been here since 1886.
Huh. 1886. I don't know. A country farm. No, I don't know. I don't know which one would be. Alright. Rootin' tootin' cowboy accent. I don't know what. I don't know if I can pull it off. Okay. Let's match something. Something. Clickety click. Alright, let's pit them all together though. I'll make this guy. Alright. If you can show me. I don't. Alright. If you could show me the victim's lair, I'll reconsider my position. And then we can pit it against this person. So let's go to number 4 and 5. Right, 3, 4, and 5, yeah. Pit. Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another. What? I must object. What? Being their leader, it's my duty to stand up for all jurors and. What? Oh, thanks for the single biddy. I thought that was a thingy. I thought that was a contradiction. Thief, right? Okay. Pit the thief against. After performance, but petty thief. Yeah, okay. Well, no reason to lie. Right, thief. Okay, so we'll do 2 and 4 then. Rootin' tootin'. I had it. My rootin' tootin'. Okay, let's get this objection. Those two statements are. What? Okay. Maybe I can't start on jury number 4. I have to do jury number 2 and then 4. Okay, let's try number 4. Maybe 2 pit to 4.
Objection.
Those two statements are finally at odds. Oh, I don't know. Am I misunderstanding something? Comparing different things before attempting. Okay. Let's press it one more time. Are you saying you believe it? He's trustworthy rather than splendid? Well, yes, he's rather splendid, yes. Okay. Look at the cues. Very fishy. Press. That's a bold claim. How can you be so sure? It's really simple. Noble lady of Cat, I pray thee hold thy tongue. I beg your pardon. Hath thou rank odored air that doth our darkness illuminate any place in this assembly? Nay. 'Tis a sole import here that someone would extinguish that light of mine or life. Verily, I near recall stealing thy gas, but pray let the matter rest till anon. Why, you little... I'm begging your pardon, my lady. Might I suggest you don't say any more at this stage? We need hard evidence first. If I keep secretly watching this bloke, I'll get him. In the end, he'll slip up. Do you think that? Maybe that secret's out of the bag? It's so frustrating. Ah. Right, he lost a bet. I can't just show things. Will you stand by that statement? What do you take me for? I'm a gentleman, sir. This mark a man of my word. Let me be perfectly clear about this. If it turns out that old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar, I gladly change my position. Yeah, okay, we read that before. Well, I did declare the splendid. Press again. Yeah, I am lost.
Objection.
Nope. Wrong thing again. Really stuck.
Hold it.
I don't see any contradictions at all.
Objection.
Okay. I don't think they contradicted, but maybe they're implicitly contradicting. Whose statements do you refer, Counsel? Juror number 1. What are you yelling at, lad? I presume you heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas? Well, yes. Well, the victim you claim to be noble straight-up man, in fact turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much. It's true we don't have evidence as such just yet. The claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me, seeing as this operation has already been compromised. I suggest that the court hears a testimony from our East End branch office employee over there. I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Guest man's honor. Are we just skipping to your testimony now? You say you're a man of your word. Alright, if I could show that Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assure me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt? Excuse me. Yes, I did say that. Alright. If that means you recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no. I'm not having it. I don't even. My brain doesn't work. I'm changing all these. Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with. In that case, I'll change my leaning. Oh, well, I guess we're not guilty anymore again. If Mr. William Shamspeare's your real name. Alright, let's keep going. That's 4 jurors for not guilty. Well, that was flimsy, right? Yes, Mr. Naruto, victory! That was just a tutorial for a summation. Order. Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 juries say guilty, was fortunately not guilty. They therefore declare that this... I don't know. All my rasp is gone. I therefore declare this court to be in the state of disaccord. Yeah. And order the trial to continue. I don't have his rasp anymore. I need to re-find it. I can't. He's like, how dare you? You spoiled the book. You spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspeare. He's sad too. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods give us some faults to make us men. So God amend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, not but gas, and not but thin air. It burneth a bright while, but it hath no substance, it doth reek foul. Oi, what do you say? Do I make it? Do I make it? Do I take it, Mr. Shamspeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot I'm a seraph, an angel? Apparently. Noble of mind, sweet of nature, verily honest of heart. You sorry-mouthed pompous beanpole, just 'cause I haven't gotten the evidence yet? Mr. Shamspeare, if in fact you're not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time, no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by this court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Oh no. However, in the light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be appropriate for this court not to pursue the point further. I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that, although you had no hard evidence to prove this man stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, Mr. Worker? Absolutely. I don't know his voice either. Absolutely, Lady Quinby, Gasman's honor. Very well then. I will hear your testimony now. You tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. Shams, be your husband stealing gas. Yes, my lord, it would be my pleasure at Altamont Gas, if I may, my lord. Go ahead, madam. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you don't mind. Woohoo! Oh yeah, sweet as honey. Yeah, 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 yeah. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait, the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting. You mark my words. So you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. Yes, is that clear, my good man? Clear as Altamont's gas, my lady, which is the clearest in the world. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mrs. Sato? I think this man is a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruto. We still have this, and then it'll be probably a break, so. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept true penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. Yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow he's been using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? Oh, he's using fake money probably. That's my guess. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn my hallowed chalice. What do you mean? Lord Van Zykes? Lord Van Zykes? Did the mustachio Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court, and yet now we must listen to this aberrance. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be the crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. I don't know. Yeet! Do what you will. don't know if this works. Might not work. Do what you will. Lord Van Zykes appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. Attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence? It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. The first step in uncovering it will be establish just who and what this man really is. Whoa. My throat's getting really dry. Collection agent. Gas meters takes bits. Meter's empty. Meter doesn't appear tampered. He's using all the flaming gas. Okay. I didn't expect to uncover another crime, but it's in the same room. Does seem as though perhaps it's nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Mitsume. And it does seem that way, but the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases are interlinked. It might seem like the two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they are intimately connected. Guess we've experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if there's another instance. Perhaps we can't be sure of that yet. The Ultimate Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shamspear so earnestly, there must be something to it. But then, how's he been managing to steal their gas? I'm proud of the company thing. Okay, let's press number 1. Does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. I've tried to catch people when they're in. Then I ask for permission to come inside to do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, and as well as that of Mr. Shamspear? Well, now interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survive winter is beyond me, it really is. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. Maybe. You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Reederman? Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Alright, number 2 press.
Hold it!
Okay. All London houses have gas supply were fitted with these gas meters, are they? They have the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company Altman Gas. Anyone who ever uses a gas will have one of these meters. So 3 pence coin gives 2 hours of gas. Most people just use about 3 coins a night. A bit more of that usually. If we both have gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Saseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in his room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. How does money in the meter get back to you in the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. Interesting. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room didn't have a single coin in it. Alright. Press about that. Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas off us for ages. And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room, I take it? Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. Or maybe he's been emptying it himself? I found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demand a new type of meter be produced, one with an indestructible lock. The Shakespeare Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. And even after all that, Rascal's meter was still empty. Never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box, I found it bare. You what? You what? The look of his face, that swarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of being jimmied open anywhere. Not a single sign. What's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. I mean, it could be like a coin that could be pulled out back out. It's a life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I just still got it. Oh. Well, maybe we can examine it right here. No wonder they call you Meter Man. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Alright, we added it to evidence, and we'll definitely check it out. There doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Alright, last point of the testimony. Oof. The meter doesn't appear to be tampered with, though. The collection agent has the only key. Press present.
Hold it!
There's only one key for all your meters? Well, in truth, there's another key in the company's vault in our main office. But even if someone had managed to get hold of that key, we know if the coin box had been opened. Oh? How? I came up with a rather clever way to expose the little shenanigans as it happens. Would you care to explain? Well now, in order to empty a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. Well, when I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see? A seal? Like some sort of thing you put on an envelope, you mean? Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal. Oh. Yeah, Shakespeare's been making seals. Now, in the case of Mr. Shakespeare's meter, there's no coins indeed inside at all, as I said. But the seal hadn't been broken either. So that would mean Mr. Shakespeare somehow has managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it? I don't think so. It seems so, but that would be impossible. Alright. He's somehow using all of it.
Hold it!
How do you know he's been using gas, though? Well now, since I started investigating this book, I've been to his room more than a few times, and on every single occasion his lamp's been blazing, and it's still pounding. In the middle of winter, he turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says, "Get thee to a nunnery." Hamlet indeed. I could wring the bloke's neck. I'll get all hot under the collar, but still, every time I open up the flaming meter, it's empty. He's robbing me of the salary, too. What's wrong in the world? Where's the justice? How can Mr. Shakespeare possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. The ship? Oh. Simple explanation is right before your eyes. What? A toast to you eventually realizing that the gasman could be an accomplice. You what? Good lord, eminently implausible indeed. Huh. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh please, Lady Quimby, I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money us gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas been used, you dog are paid by the same amount. So you'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly that makes no sense. Perhaps it's a case of the losing battle to win the war? No. I'm not gonna stir that hornet's nest. If I went stealing from the company, I'd be finished. It would seem there's no evidence to support the claims of theory made against the victim. Because Mr. William Shamspeare is innocent. Wow, he's putting a lot of trust in Shamspeare. Pray forgive that. If that shatters some illusion, my Nipponese friend is clearly under. Okay. Alright. We've only one chance to guess right. So let's look at the things. Okay. We have this, we've seen it. And this. This seal thing. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? The money box is sealed with beeswax too, so if Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd find it immediately. Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of things that Mr. Sholmes would. You know, you didn't finish that sentence, did you? Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs, but it does feel like a little over the top, doesn't it? Ooh, gas leak? Oh, what's... Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruto? There's a little hole, don't you see? Goodness, you're right, I haven't noticed. Not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I mean. So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeare? Possibly. Seems people at Mount Almond Gas must have missed it. Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside. But there's no way a coin could fit there. That's true, but even so, it seems a little more than suspicious. Let's just present that to... Yeah. Single coin, meter doesn't appear tampered. We're gonna just present the tampered thing.
Objection.
Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of being tampered with. Get away, I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole? What? You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. Meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamsbury secretly opened this hole himself? Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why? Yeah, why? It's tiny. You can get a farthing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give me the court some more details about your meter's design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin's been fed as a threepenny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. The threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see other coins won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in the case, and it's pertinent. As you wish, my lord. Okay. Exact diameter, thickness, we can press that. But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching the 3 penny best coins exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well. We thought of that though. Anyway, if I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, that contract says customers has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. We live for moments like that. Us gasmen do. Live for them. Would seem that the gas company has thought of everything. Woohoo! Hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Altamont all the way! That's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are penny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant, or perhaps some other aspect of the meter's construction that we could be focusing on? You may be right. Perhaps we should try a different tack here. Like asking whether a meter can be dismantled, for example. Sure, why not? How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yeah, given that there are no signs of it having been forced, I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make sense. The padlocks are made from first-class locksmiths from the finest quality steel. The meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, well shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it. Woohoo! Yeah, nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. Okay, that's good to know. Witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it's pertinent. As you wish, my lord. Okay. All the joints on the meter are welded shut, and let's press that. Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, they actually broke the meter. The company would be able to take legal action. That makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? You may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about how the meter differentiates coins, for example. Yeah, I'm just gonna just have that as the thing and the thing. Yeah. Okay. Nothing else will fit. Present. I'm gonna look at this again. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across, or 3/4 of an inch. Do you think? We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we? Yeah, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. I'm sure that when we first found it, there's some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. Perhaps I remember it clearly. There's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? I'm gonna present this.
Objection.
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit then? Is that correct? Yeah, that is correct. Well, by something of coincidence, while we were investigating Mr. Shamsu's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something of the same size as a threepenny bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What are you inhaling gas as a bar soap? Certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. Looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap? This part here. Zoop! There's that funny little round depression in the middle of the soap. It's a perfect circle, and I would say almost 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Rather something else we've been talking about recently, in fact. Mr. Naruto, is this the part of the soap you need to show? Okay, presenting it, yeah. You'll turn over the soap to see what I mean. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that approximates that. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit. Get away! Does anyone have present have their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Alright, let's see it. Next, kind member of the public in the gallery. I have here a threepenny bit. Now see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. As I suspected. This is without a doubt a vital clue to explain how the Altamont gas company has been defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. Wow. So your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must conclude at least that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour in the mold. You could make fake coins in no time. And then this brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. Is this? It's the method Mr. Shamsbury is using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now if you follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation of what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If men had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, but Lady of Altamont, in the absence of black magic, it would make them disappear. See, that's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes? Exactly. And the meteor just gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that's what your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. When meter can remnants of this method be used to make fake coins disappear? Yeah, there, right?
Got it.
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ah, I get it. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamster's been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside with bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That's how without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man's been stealing Altamont gas. That's pretty genius. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? Is he fooling us all with bars of soap and some water? That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. You have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? Now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and water can render it totally useless. I'm pretty sure I didn't design it. Evidence. Sorry? I want evidence. You're gonna stand here and tell our meters are rubbish. I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Alright, I guess. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you actually do have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I did have a feeling that this theory we come up with should explain it. Oh, don't we have a picture? Right there. Yeah. This photograph was seen at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. It clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? Right there. If only he had a spout or something. He could have totally, you know, properly managed the water, but he didn't. Look at the water. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain. Almost certainly a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out from the hole made in the meter. If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating the room all his waking hours, you can imagine he would have used around 10 fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the coin's meter box could have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. There's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspear is slumped over this table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It appeared to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing, your lordship, but certainly not. He didn't beat around the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is surprisingly... Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar of soap broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious. Yeet. Larfin Sykes. I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What's the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well, that Mr. William Shamspear is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. Very well. Let's assume this man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of other vessel that contained poison. And on that night in question, there was no visitors to the room except the accused. Young Gassman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's bodies via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. It's true. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You. What? Oh no. Order, order. Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Mr. Naruhodo? What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zykes was saying? No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But counsel, you successfully explained everything. You've identified and established the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zykes is just highlighting 3 facts in order to make his point, but contrary to what we would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of these so-called facts is an assumption made due to the lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together, consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question we now need to reconsider, namely... The poison in tea? We've all been led to believe that strychnine poison was afflicted to Mr. Shakespeare, but was in the tea brought by him by Mr. Natsumi, but that's conjecture at best. The victim has testified nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there's no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of poison. Obviously. As I said, the situation has changed. Because, in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene, and a particular piece of evidence proves it. Ludus claim. Scotland Yard's detectives investigated this scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? Suggesting they missed. The defendant has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Well, we have this.
Take that!
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal by Mr. Natsume's tea, counsel? Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to in a small way if you dig it deep enough. Oh no, we hit our second game over today. Oops. Alright, we'll do it again. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah. You are guilty. No.
Guilty. Guilty.
You try from this scene. Yeah. All right. Nature of defendant's tea. Hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling that it doesn't actually. It's not relevant. We probably aren't supposed to use the T argument. Let's swap to a different, yeah. Maybe it's not about the T. I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time. No, okay. I don't know. I feel like I did it wrong. I don't know. Uh,
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? Do I have to restart the whole chapter? Usually they let you return to. Hmm.
Take that!
Hmm. Well, obviously I don't want to play WoW. It's boring. Uh-huh. Hmm. I just
Take that!
don't know. I...
Take that!
Am I stuck in this room or something? There's no way.
Take that!
I already used every evidence, didn't I?
Take that!
What? Okay. Apparently we never picked the soap. The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins? Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lining on the edge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there's actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There's something strange about them, you mean? Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red? No, you mean? There was tea? It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. Frozen tea? I would remind the court of the statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me and I visited Mr. Shakespeare's room as a gift. Hey, Matthew USA, been a while. How are you doing? Good morning. Is there anything you're up to this week? And let me know if there's anything interesting going on. If there's any prayer requests you, Fuzz, or Matthew have, I'd love to pray for you as well. Alright. So, because water is frozen at night, he needed some liquid, apparently. Ah, yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It's particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the east end are prone to freezing. On the night in question, Mr. Shamsby, having no running water to use, was forced to use tea brought by Mr. Natsumi in order to make his fake coins. My word! Ah. There were 2 bars of soap on the windows ledge when the judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. Oh, you're playing Fortnite, huh? Did we ever play Fortnite together? If you ever need to find me on Epic, my Epic name is the same as the one of this channel. Which means, even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamsby's window. Extraordinary! Early today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that even if 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has been now more than mere conjecture. Ooh, we found that tea! Alrighty. Ugh, you smug nippities. Yeah, yesterday we were hanging out with J-Cubed late and reading some scriptures, so I was not available Friday night. Police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. The defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Okay. Bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood. Alright, I think this is where we're gonna have a to be continued thing. It seems we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zykes. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume in the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. The court was adjourned until tomorrow. If that's not enough reading for one day, I don't know what else is. Alrighty, we are going to save. Yep.